for the next couple of hours before Critical Role starts, I want to do something a little bit different. I'm not sure how it's going to go, and I haven't set OBS up for this ahead of time. So it's going to need to be a little bit on the fly. I'm going to need this, and I'm going to need to duplicate this so that it's not game cam, but it's that one. Okay, and then put this up here, and then find that, but instead of that, no, that's the wrong thing. What I want is, where is the, it's down here, but, oh, yeah, okay. Alright. This, rename that to, okay, yep. And then that is, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So remove that. Okay. And here add window capture. That's the one. Alright, doesn't okay, it needs to go down for a start. Okay. Okay, at the moment it's going to not quite work out. I need to fix that for when things happen. What am I working on today? One last time. This. Let me back up a little. This is a program. Oh wow. Oh, does not like that at all. OBS has gone nuts. Okay. Is it because it's a double? Alright, let me check the properties. No, not new score wizard. This one? Will it do both at the same time? Alright, it's not going to do both at the same time. That's a little frustrating. Flip screen? Yeah? Sort of? Alright. There's actually, there's two, that's frustrating. Because there's multiple panels that pop up. I mentioned the part about how I hadn't set OBS up for this ahead of time, didn't I? Do I need a second one for... It'd be great if it was just one thing at a time. That would be super. I've got to move my bot as well so that I can actually see chat. Okay, let's see. Okay, if this is the if that's the base one, and then there's another one for No, not that one. That one. Oh, that's very large, and much larger than it actually is. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea. Oh, too late now. Alright. So, this is a program called MuseScore, which I use to basically how I write the music that I use for the recaps. There's probably going to be a lot of stuffing around in OBS for this stream, so I apologize about that. Sort of not in advance because there's already been a lot of stuffing around. So, but nevertheless, I apologize. Here is, see, it's only showing as one app, but it's got two separate windows, so it's going to be a problem. So you create a new score, or you open an existing one, and then you choose. You can choose your instruments, or you can have just treble clef or a bass clef or a grand staff or different choral arrangements. They've got a bunch of templates and stuff like that for what you want to start as. If you want to use tabs or regular staves. If you're doing a big band stuff, then here's all the instruments that you're probably going to need. Rock band, bluegrass, concerts, marching bands, just percussion, orchestras, strings, and stuff like that. What I typically do is just choose my instruments. And I normally start with vocals and piano. If you just want a treble clef on your piano, then you can remove the bass clef, or you can remove the treble clef if it's bassy. If you want, you can have, say, oh well, I need a tenor voice for this, and it will change the clef that you're using, so it will key it down a bit, or up depending on what you need. And a lot of the instruments will do that natively, like a lot of the horns and stuff like that will say, no, actually, this is what I'm reading, and because the instrument itself is keyed differently, and it all sort of works out. So MuseScore takes that into consideration. What I generally do, though, is remove that, because I'm having MuseScore play it, so I want to be able to see what the notes are as they look to me, because of how I normally read music for piano. I don't want to have to transpose that in my head for different instruments because I don't play those instruments. I just want the sound for that instrument to come out. And then you can say what key signature you want and everything like that. The key signature for one last time. Do 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 is right. So B flat, and it's in 4/4. You can make it 3/8 or 6/8 or 3/2 or whatever you want. Two different things for common time. You can add an anacrusis. You can say how many bars that you want, and you can add and remove it afterwards. Generally, I never even get to this. I very rarely get to this one. I very rarely get to this one. I normally just go from here, this is what I want, and finish. It's remembered my choice. if you decide, oh wait, actually B flat's the wrong key, I actually wanted it in E flat, you can just delete that and put in a key signature, whatever key signature you want. Or it starts with nothing. But B flat is what we're looking for. Hey, B flat is what we're looking for. I'm going to save this before I actually start doing anything, which you won't see because it's not capturing my monitor, it's just capturing the thing, I hope. Oh man, it's oh that, okay, that window's gone away, so now it's screwed up. Okay, properties. There's nothing for unload. Yeah, okay. I'll just remove that one. Okay, like I said, OBS teething issues. It's annoying that it comes up as a separate modal thing. I mean, it's good for when you're using it, but OBS doesn't seem to be able to handle that very well. I could capture my desktop, I guess, but I just want to give you this thing. You don't need to see the rest of my computer. That's fine. And so, what I'm basically doing is transposing by hand how the song goes. It's a little bit swingy, so that's fine. And it's a little bit slow. How musical works is you have your you have different instruments and they play differently. Oh man, there's gonna be another thing that I do later as well. I'm gonna need more windows. Wow, this is gonna be interesting. You can always add and subtract more word I'm looking for. Add and subtract more instruments later on. You press I for instrument, and it pops up with a thing that you can't see, but it was the same as last time. Wow, this is really annoying. For this does not okay. Must match title. Alright. So we'll see if this ends up working or not. So here it is. It's got to go. There we go. This is a terrible exercise in how OBS does not work, or how not to use OBS. So if I wanted to add a flute or something like that, I can search under woodwinds, and there's a flute. Or I can have a treble flute. If I wanted a cornet, then I can search under brass, and there's a cornet. If I wanted a marimba, then I'd search under keyboards. There's no keyboards. But wait, this is common instruments. So I could use early instruments. There's a clavichord. Wait, is it percussion? shit, I can't remember. Can't remember all instruments. Maybe it is percussion. Well, pitched percussion. Marimba, there we are. And you can have a dulcimer counts as percussion. All right, cool. Carry on. And you can have a great stave, which is this thing, piano top and bottom, or you can just have one. It's a glass harmonica, and you can search for stuff as well. So if you want to search, if you need bass, you can search for bass, and it gives you bass flutes, contrabass, bass clarinets, bass harmonicas, lots of basses in brass, including a cimbasso, which includes bass in there, bass vocals, bass drums, more bass drums, bass synthesizer, lots of bass guitars, and even more bass guitar, actual double bass. But for now, we're just going to stick with this. Now, it's time to apologize for OBS Windows again. If I close this, what happens? It stays there in OBS. Oh, come on, really? You can't just... Why can't you just unload it when it's finished? Why doesn't it just unload when it's finished? Why is it so difficult? There are so many things that it's like unload when not visible. Oh, this is really frustrating. How do I make it do that? No. I mean, I can hide it and bring it back later if I need it, which I will. All right, I'll just hide it for now. It's fine. There's another one which I'm going to need to bring up, which is F10. This is the mixer, which I also need to add. MuseScore mixer. See, there's a box for make it visible, but I don't understand why you would even not do that. Exact title. No. Okay, weird. Hang on. Properties. Oh, well, isn't that strange? Cancel. Okay. Interesting. It doesn't show up as one of the windows I can capture. Welcome back, Methodial. This is MuseScore. You're very right. It's in B flat. This does not. Wow, what the hell? This is super weird. Alright, so this window, the one that I'm dragging around with my mouse cursor right now, isn't even showing up in OBS as a window to capture. It's only showing one window for MuseScore. Alright, this isn't going to work as well as I hoped. I'm going to cancel that and remove that. I might have to do a desktop capture in this case. Which I didn't want to do, but that's okay. There shouldn't be too much disruption, I guess, if I full screen that especially. Okay. Yeah, alright, I think that I might have to do it that way. Okay, display capture. That one. Yep. Okay. Down, 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 and then remove that, and remove that. Okay. Right, and no, this one, transform, fit to screen. Okay. Oh, thank goodness, everybody. Alright, so, this is MuseScore. Welcome to MuseScore. Okay, where are we up to? Here, alright, F10. Yeah, there we go, there's the mixer. Alright, so this is the mixer. And if I put some notes in, you know what? I'll put some notes in, and then we can look at the mixer. So how do we put notes in? We put notes in by clicking the N button, or you just hit N on your keyboard, and it comes up here. It defaults to a crotchet, but you can set the note length as needed. For the start of this, we want a dotted quaver, which you can click here and click here, or you can press full stop on your keyboard to turn the dot on and off, and you can use the number indicated here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 0 is actually a rest, even though it doesn't say 0 after it. I stumbled across that by accident while trying to do something else. 3, 2, 1. If you really need a 1/28th note, you'll need to do that manually. So what we're starting with is the baseline for the intro here. So we've got a dotted thing, and then we have a... Oh, that's not dotted. Did you make a mistake? That's fine. Just draw over the top of it, and then you can use the arrow keys to select the note that you've got, and then just hit the delete key to get rid of it. And we're still on quarter notes. These two semi-quaver rests will just sit there until you join them back up again. Do 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 do. And then there's the quaver rest there. Now if you want to copy and paste stuff, it will let you do that, but you need to get out of edit mode, so you either click this again or press N. So I can copy this whole bar and paste it into this bar. Or if I didn't want to do that, I could copy a set of notes and paste them into this bar, and they'll fill the first available space. If there was, for example, I could paste it into here if I wanted it to be later, and it would pick up from where it left off. It's pretty good like that, as long as you have it selected. This fourth measure here is actually going to change slightly. So I'm going to remove that and then move this to here, and then copy this into here. So at the moment, it sounds like this. And that is the baseline intro for one last time. although it is a little fast, I think. That's better. It's also a little rough. So what we get here is staccato. Does staccato reasonably well. And if I put the staccato in the first time before I copied it, it would have done that just fine as well. So now it sounds like this. And I'm going to move this, right, to here. Now, I can't see chat. Alright, good. This actually goes through to the next line. This basically starts while Hamilton is talking, and then Washington here is telling Hamilton, I know that you're busy, but I want to give you a word of warning. About Jefferson. Spoilers for Hamilton if you haven't seen it or heard it or read up on it in the last 2 years. One of the other things that we'll do that I'll put in now so that I don't need to do it later is it draws in slurs, but it does not noticeably play it any differently. And it's mostly designed for you to print out the score for people to actually play. The playback feature is all I am using it for, but that is sort of the added value of it, so that you can play it back and make sure that it sounds okay. I've just saved, so the little asterisk next to the file name has gone away. It's pretty cool if you want to go, oh look, I can undo even though I've saved, and then I can redo to put those back in, and that asterisk is gone again. Yep, we're back at the save point. It tracks the save point backwards and forwards, which is very good. It's what programs should be doing. Hey, we're back to the save thing. It actually won't. Oh, it will let you save. What's the one that won't? Oh, it's GIMP that does that. If you're already at the save point, it won't. The save is grayed out. You can still save as, but it won't actually save. It's like, no, I've already saved. What do you need? So I might need. I'm probably going to end up needing a second voice line, one for Hamilton and one for Washington, and they'll end up being different instruments. Similar to what I did in the recap for God damn it, which one was it? For Guns and Ships, when Lafayette and Burr and Hamilton were all talking, and I was using different percussion notes for them while they were rapping, because they weren't singing. There was not really a note to prescribe. So while they were just rapping and talking, I just used percussion instead. and I used a different percussion instrument for each of them to sort of indicate that someone different was speaking. I'm not sure if anyone actually picked up on that, but I thought it was cool. So that's probably what I'll do for while they're speaking. There is some speaking, but this song is mostly singing. So I can certainly add in a drum set or a single line percussion, and I'll do that almost last. I should probably assign a volume here. MuseScore defaults to MF, so I guess I'll just draw that in for clarity. There's everything you want here. Some of them work better than others. Sometimes you need to manually assign volume for certain things, and again, it's designed for printing out your score so that actual people can play it, not to generate music the way I'm using it. So there are some things that are working as designed, not intended to work for playback, and that's fine. One of the things it doesn't recover is changes in repeats. So if you've got repeat these 8 bars, so these 8 bars, and then repeat them again, but this one note or this one bar, just do a little bit differently to cover an extra word in this verse. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do that at all. So if it does a repeat, it does it exactly the same. You can do repeat and then the first time this bar, and then the second time jump over that and go to the next one. It does that fine, because that's pretty common in music. But if you need to change the middle of a repeat, you just write it out twice, or copy and paste it, and it will be fine. Or just not worry about it. Up to you, really. I mean, what I'm doing here doesn't need to be exact, except for the thing in the back of my head that means it needs to be as good as I can make it, which isn't always exact, and sometimes it'll be, yeah, well, that's close enough. That's close enough is sometimes what music is about. It really is. Where am I up to? I'm up to here. One of the other things it doesn't do slurs. It does do ties though, which is what we're up to next. I need to go back into music edit mode, and then I'm going to tie this. It's selecting semi-quaver, but I need it to be a quaver for this, so I'm going to change to quaver, and then I'm going to hit. This is the tie button here, or you can hit the plus key, which I'm going to do right now, and it ties the current selected note to the next value. If instead I wanted to tie it into a semi-breve, then I could do that. But I don't want to do that. I actually want a quaver here. And then another one, and we go back into this. Excellent. There are a lot of programs that do stuff like this. The one I was using at the start, when I started writing my own instrumentals for the ReCapts, was an 8-bit program that was like a keyboard on its side, and so every oh wait, I can show you. This is in here. It's called Music Maker. It's like a keyboard on its side. It's got every note going up and down. It's got 8 input channels and a swathe of instruments from which to pick. Not quite as many as MuseScore, but there you go. So yeah, it's basically a piano roll. and you can hide the ones that aren't in use or whatever, and you can move the notes up and down. So you sort of pick from this. So that's what, a G2. So if I wanted to do it in this, it'd be nope. It's a D. So it would look like that. And you can change the tempo here, and the tempo is sort of roughly okay. And that's how you do it in this. And if I was editing a different, if you want longer notes, then you hold it down for longer. If you want, or if you want one longer note, then that's how you do it in Music Maker. Please tell me the audio is coming through, okay? And you can set the start here and only play this bit, and you can copy and paste and insert, and you can select a range, and then if you don't want that, you can right click on that to get rid of it, and then you can select this range instead, and you can transpose just the selected part up or down, and it will do all of the instruments. And it was quite versatile. Thank you, Methodial. It was quite versatile for what I wanted to do, as long as what I wanted to do wasn't terribly lengthy or too complicated. So you can only have 8 notes playing at once, not 8 instruments. Only 8 notes. You can't do chords. If you want to do if you need to do a chord, you need to get another instrument and draw it in separately. Alright. So it would look like this, and that's fine. But you saying that lets you do very basic stuff, and it's great for that. So there were 2 problems. I zoomed my camera out so I have more space to work with. There were 2 problems that I came across. I ran out of notes for some of the songs I wanted to do, and it only, once it goes past a certain complexity time or complexity level, it crashes. It's an older program. It's not designed for a 12-minute symphony, or even a 3-minute symphony, or a 5-minute regular song. It runs out of memory relatively early. There were several songs that I was doing early on that I had to have 3 separate files for, like part 1 and part 2 and part 3, and then paste them together later on, and that was an issue. The other problem with it is it only exports to MIDI, and then you need a separate program to convert it from a MIDI into a WAV or an MP3, and then splice it into actual ReCapt. So that was Music Maker, and it was great for what I needed at the time. But as I became more interested in writing my own music, writing my own covers for the music for the ReCapt, then I outgrew it doesn't prompt a save on exit if you haven't saved it. Like, no, why would we do that? So I looked around and I came across Music Score, and that's what I've been using for the last several months. When did I start using Music Score? Which one was the first one that I used? I can't remember. It was a while ago. I don't know how long ago it was, though. I really couldn't tell you. Anyway, where are we up to? We are up to... No, that's not what I want. Right. Dum dum da dum 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 da dum 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 da dum. Okay. So this ties back into here. So I can copy. How far along does that go? Oh, what? Okay, well that's going to be interesting. Alright, so it does... it's really the same measure, isn't it? Okay, so here, here, here. No. Okay, that one's a quaver. And you can just adjust the length of the note on the fly. If you're extending it, then it will do what it just did. It extended it. If you're reducing it, sometimes it will leave the second half of it behind, and you just need to make a note and tidy that up. And then the next one. Wait. That one's not there. Okay, yeah, that's this without that. Okay. And then it's the same sort of. So it's this again, but that is dotted and not staccato. Damn it. There we go. Oh, actually, none of those are staccato. These two bars here, when Hamilton is saying, I don't know what you heard, but whatever it is, Jefferson started it. There is more bass added here as well. It drops down an additional octave, which is going to be a little difficult to copy and paste in, but we can do it. We might have to do it manually. So it only goes down about this far before it starts assuming that it's actually the next line. If you need it lower than this, you need to manually adjust it. It also doesn't tell you what note you're putting in. When you click on a note, it tells you what it is, but it doesn't tell you which note you're putting in. So that's around about there. Nope. That one. So I'm changing the, you can see the duration changing up the top here, and I'm changing that with the 3 and 4 keys on my keyboard. Okay, 4, 3, and then 4 dot, and then N to close that out. Alright, I can hit home, but it doesn't go back unless you're actually playing. Ah, that's right. That was the thing that I was going to go to before I distracted myself. This note here is wrong. This is the wrong note, but if you select it, you can move it up and down. If you're moving it up, it will go to sharps, and if you're moving it down, it will go to flats. I know you're busy. Lol. And then I moved it to the wrong note. I want to give you a word of warning. Alright. Yeah, okay, now. This bar here is wrong. That drops to here. Cool. Alright. So that's where we're up to for now. But let's put in Washington's parts. Alright, so if you select the bar, you can't change the note. You need to select the note to change the note. That becomes a crotchet. And that's semiquaver, and we're going to start here. Now it's going to be a weird sort of voice sound until I decide what voice I want to use for him, what music or what instrument I want to use for his voice. And then we skip that and we go 5, 0 for a rest, 3, 0 for a rest. Maybe I should be using these keys, but it's a lot faster to do using the keyboard shortcuts, as is just about everything else on a computer. And this is warning. So there to there would be slurred. But you'll see here that it won't actually play the slur. Alright, okay. This is the mixer. I said we'd look at the mixer after we had some notes. We have some notes and we have a reason to use it. I can mute the piano, or I can mute everything by saying, hey look, just play this. With the voice, it's a little hard to hear the fact that it's not slurring, because the whole thing is sort of slurring. So we'll set this back to piano for a little bit. I'll swap that out to the piano that I like better. So it definitely plays bump, bump as two very distinct notes, which is sort of a pain. And it doesn't really matter what you pick. There's a lot to pick from here. Oh, sorry. Wrong instrument. It's not slurring that at all. With a fingered bass. Yeah. So it's drawn in, but it's for the purposes of the playback, it is ignored. Some of the instruments are a bit more sort of slurry and softer in naturally in nature, by nature. So you wouldn't really hear it. That's why I changed the instrument back to something that was more distinct on the pickup. Where I'm up to. Hello, Soul Search. I've got my chat back. This is from Hamilton. I have been singing a little bit as I'm going, but yes, I'm arranging a song from Hamilton, which you might hear next weekend, maybe a little bit. So it's a bit of a spoiler / preview / giveaway for next week's. Oh yeah. Don't forget to unsolo stuff after you've finished messing around with stuff like that. And if you solo parts in there, then when it exports, it will absolutely mute the stuff that you still have muted. It will only export what actually plays. Alright, I'll save that. While it's saving, it doesn't want to do other things. Okay, so that's the very, very start of One Last Time, except for all of Hamilton's parts. Okay, I see what they've done. Alright. I've missed a spot. And these are staccato. How did I not see that? Oh, that was silly of me. Alright, so here to here is slurred, and this is all staccato. There's no keyboard shortcut for staccato, unfortunately. I could probably make one. Okay, those aren't, but all the other ones are. Okay. Not in edit mode. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Yeah, damn it. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna need that back. If you've got a longer phrase that needs, if you've got a phrase rather than just a two-note slur, you can engage the slur mode at the start, and it will build it as you go, and then you just hit S again to turn it off. It can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but you know, it's free. Oh yeah, this program, it's free. It's a wonderful, wonderful free resource that I really love having. Thomas Jefferson resigned this morning. Alright, so from here I can go... Alright. Okay, and then slur to here, and then turn the slur off. Alright, and that's sort of the end of that part. Oh, and then we have drums coming in. Okay, good to know. Alright, so I am going to need a drum kit. Drum set. You know what I haven't used so far? Treble clef piano. So I can take it out if it's not required. And I probably will. But I might repurpose it for something else. I can break the great stave. The great stave does have the thing where it will follow the dynamics and the crescendos and stuff like that. For both of them, they are joined for a reason. This is one thing just split apart for easier comprehension. If you need to, you can swap this clef into a. There is a host of clefs. So if you wanted this to be, 2 octaves higher, you can do that, or 2 octaves lower, you can do that. If you wanted it to be an E clef instead of a G clef, you can do that. The clefs are all available. If you want it to be a tablature instead of a regular clef, you can do that too. There are so many things you can do. One thing you can't do is a great stave arpeggio, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well. There are workarounds for it, but it's a bit finicky. If you're subscribed to the channel, then the emotes work. I still only have 2. I can't think of a third one. I cannot think of a third one. I really can't. I was struggling to think of those 2. I'm glad I sort of redesigned my hat and my microphone on. That's my actual hat and my actual microphone. The stock images I was using they were easy to see. That's for sure. So yeah, I don't know. But that one's mine. I don't have an actual captain's hat. I have a pirate hat. I don't know, the white and the black and the white with the black brim captain's hat was a lot more contrasty than my dirty brown tricorn. But that's how it goes sometimes. Sorry, Soul Search, I don't have chat right in front of me while I'm doing this, so I'm trying to remember to go backwards and forwards and keep an eye on chat, but it's not jumping right out at me the whole time. It's not on my screen at all times. I'm not really sure how to convey that. Um, really, in 24 28 by 28 pixels or however many it is. It's 112 and then 56. So yeah, 28. Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure how to convey that in a 28 pixel square. Seems tricky. Drums. All right. So the drums start after this bar. And then this lays down here. And then it goes back to the dun 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 dun, dun that we had earlier. Which we can copy from here. It'll copy multiple bars quite happily. You can add extra ones in when you need to, and you can add them. So if I've got this bar selected, you can use the insert key to add bars in before that, or if you need to for reasons, you can use Control B. Oh, interesting. You can use Control B to add additional bars at the very end of the thing. So they're coming in after this one. I thought it was just after wherever you had selected, but apparently that was incorrect. I don't want them there for now though. Okay, good. That's back where we were at. And save. I think I might have some problems with image copyright, including a Monopoly board. It's a pretty good idea. It's better than any of the ideas I came up with. That's for sure. Okay, so this is here. Yeah. No. Dun, 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 dun. That comes up. And then it goes back down. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, so this is only a quaver. And then it goes back to 3. I was saying before about it only being able to go down so far before it assumes you're at the next one. So you just do that and then you just push it down manually. And that ties into the next thing. So you will tie both of them. You'll tie both notes. If you only want it to tie one note because of reasons, then you can just delete the one that you don't want and the other tie will stay in. You need to manually delete the tie line as well, because it's paired that way. And if you want to, you can use this button here or the X button to flip anything. You can flip the tie line. You can flip the notes. You can flip the staccato symbol to have the staccato on top instead of on the bottom. You can do the same thing with the slurs. You can flip whatever you want, but we need that tie note back in. Just about whatever you want. There are some things you can't flip either because they don't have a direction, or some other reason. Well, Okay, mental not to drag stuff around too much. Alright, just ignore that, everybody, it's fine. Okay. Where was I up to before that happened? Dum 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 dum. And then that feeds back into the same pattern. So from here to here comes in here. Ah, that's not tied, that comes back up. Okay. So we're going to delete that note and that note. And copy that and paste it in here. And then we're going to slur to here. Okay, and that goes back to the regular no worries, Soul Search. That goes back to yeah, that is in there. You're allowed to complain about things that annoy you. Absolutely. Have you heard me complain about stuff? Believe me, I'm the last person to complain about people complaining about things. Alright, Jefferson comes back in asking for a favour. We're on semi-quaver duty. Sometimes the bars will jump around while you're not paying attention. Which, you know, just happens sometimes. Okay, I need a rest here while he's talking. Alright, and I need to figure out the drums. Okay, the drums come in here. But let's see what we've got so far. I'm already hating this instrument for Washington. So I'm going to change that now. What have I used for Washington previously? I don't know. What do I feel like using for him in this one? Start it with an over and see how that goes. Yeah, that sounds good. Ah! That's staccato. That's staccato. Thanks, Soul Surge. Yeah, I hope it all sorts itself out. I know, especially when you were saying that it's sort of can't be nothing can be done about it, and sometimes that makes it more difficult because you can't fix it even if you wanted to, even if you thought you could. There's not a possibility of fixing it because somebody's made that choice without taking other people into consideration or without discussing things or they thought at the time, and for whatever reasons that choice has already been made and you can't impact it or help them or shake them silly and say, no, look, what you're doing is wrong or rash or misinformed or whatever. And so that can often compound the issue that they just went off and did this thing without thinking about it or without asking you or without asking anyone. And now it's all sort of fallen apart and you have to help deal with it afterwards, or not even help deal, but just deal, and they don't care about the consequences at all. That'll make it worse. But I hope it all works out eventually, sooner rather than later. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, no, there's no judging in my channel. You can thank Lin-Manuel Miranda for writing it. I like the oboe though. I'll see how the oboe goes. If one of the other things you can do, which I'm going to do real quick here, is I'm actually going to change the instrument. I like the oboe part so much, I'm going to actually just change it straight to oboe now. Be mindful here of the transposition when you're doing this. Some instruments will transpose, but this is the same octave, perfect unison, so these notes up here won't move. And I'm going to change the part name to Washington. The long instrument name is going to be Wash, and the short instrument name is also going to be Wash. This is Washington's lines. So Washington has a stave all to himself. I'm going to make those changes. Dum 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 dum. And then I'm going to save. You're very welcome, Soul Surge. If we open the mixer again, it says Washington now, and it sounds like an oboe. If I wanted to, I could make it sound like a bassoon. Or a clarinet. But I think oboe is fine. And I'll play around, especially when Hamilton and Washington are both singing at the same time. That's when that kind of decision really matters, and that's when I decide, no, actually this isn't working for me, and maybe I'll do like a, I don't know, bar sax and an alto sax, or I tend to keep most of those things, like I'll use 2 woodwinds, or I'll use 2 brass, or I'll use 2 string. I won't generally mix sections for stuff like that. I could, if it's 2 people arguing, then I would probably mix sections to give it more contrast. But if it's two people, if it's two or more parts agreeing, especially singing the same words like they do for this song, I mean, they are writing a letter or a speech. Hamilton is writing a speech for Jefferson. The opposite of his commencement speech. I can't remember what that's called. And Hamilton is singing, and Washington picks it up as he goes and then carries it. And so for something like this, I want them to be close instruments rather than disparate instruments. I might end up using the bassoon for Washington and the oboe for Hamilton, or the other way around. I don't know. I'll make that decision. I should have only got 45 minutes left. I need to get a move on. All right, we'll do the drums and we'll see how long that takes. The drums are a whole different kettle of fish. Can you see the drums from? You can. Okay, it's not too far down. Okay, so for the drums, what we're going to need to do is this. There's a whole drum set thing here. This is the drum set. You can edit the drum set and assign different things to different notes. But there's only, these are the ones that are in use. The other ones don't do anything. So you can add ones in and stuff like that. But the same way that you could change the Washington line from oboe to bassoon or clarinet or piano or marimba or whatever the hell you wanted to change it to. You can also change the drum set. There are multiple drum sets. We'll get to that in a little bit. Most of them sound very similar, but not quite exactly the same. And then there's some other options as well for orchestrals or marching bands or stuff like that. But what we want here is, not really sure what we want. But let's have a look and see what we can come up with. I think we probably want. You'll see down here as well there are two colors. There's a blue color and a green color. I might need to touch on that later, but that's for different voices. I'm writing in blue here, which is voice number 1. There's also voice number 2, which is green, voice 3, which is orange, and voice 4, which is purple. This allows you to have multiple parts on the same staff for the same instrument, and is used when you have, if I had, so this is all, when these notes are here together, they're all the same length, so that's fine. They can just be chords and it moves up and down, and that's fine. If I wanted the bottom one to be a minim, or nearly a minim. Yeah, that is. If I wanted the bottom part here to be a dotted crotchet, while the top bit played up and down, and then again here and again here and again here. In a piano, you would just go. You'd have a separate dotted crotchet down here, and you'd carry the line up here. In MuseScore, you can do that, but that's what you need a second voice for. So you could use a second voice for down here. For that G, and use the dotted crotchet. Oh, damn it. Let me get out of thing, and then I'll change it to a dotted crotchet. And no, that's not what I wanted. Flip it. And then this is the voice 1, so I can go back into voice 1 and put in the Nope. And that can still be staccato. And now it comes up here rather than down here, because here it is lost. Or I could flip that. And so, alright. And that will select both voices. And so that would sound like this. Is that the right note? No, it's not the right note. What am I doing? Well, I'm terrible. There we go. So that's certainly a way that you could play that that beat. Absolutely, you can do that, and you can do that on a piano just fine. And it would probably be written like that. The staccato makes it a little interesting, but it would probably be written just like that. And people would go, oh yeah, that's a dotted crotchet, and the top note moves around while the other one doesn't. And you'd only show one rest here, which you can do. You can hide. You can make elements invisible using the element editor. And then it knows that because these are invisible, that this comes back down to the middle of the stage. So when it's printed out, these ones aren't here at all. They're not shown because they're invisible. And you just go, oh yeah, that's just that. So that's a different sound than this. But it's certainly an absolutely valid, and that's how you draw that in, of joined notes of different lengths in the same instrument, in the same stave. Okay, but we're not actually doing that, so I'll delete all of that. That's just this is how this works. So the drum kit itself also has, where was I? Here. That's what the different colors for the drum kit are. So these notes here will default, these bass drums will default to voice 2, and the rest of the kit will default to voice 1. You can manually put them in as whatever you want. The actual process of drawing them in is a little bit tricky sometimes. It is trickier than the rest of the instruments that follow the standard stuff. But what we'll do is this. What do we have? We have a dotted quaver, and that's probably a... there's a bass drum and there's an acoustic bass drum. They sound a little different. I'll go with this one and see how I feel about it. But I'm going to put it in as, yeah, voice 2. So I've selected voice 2, and it's green when I put it in, but it will probably be green anyway. There we go. Yes, Audacity is a completely different program. Audacity is what I use afterwards. Da-dum. And then it might be a side stick. Now, the side stick wants to go to voice 1, but I want it in voice 2. So I'm going to manually draw it in, and it should stay as voice 2. And it's green, so it has. Oh yeah, when I selected it, it picked, oh no, you want voice 1? It's like, no, I don't. I actually want voice 2. Alright, and that's actually, I've gotten that wrong, because, oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'll swing that around. Okay, and I'm going to want a pause there. And I go back into edit mode. Yeah, I know. It takes me about 10 hours a week to do the recap. That doesn't include. It depends. It depends on the week. Rewatching the episode is 3 hours or 4 hours, depending on the episode and notes I take, and going back and reviewing stuff. And then writing the copy from the notes, and then trimming that down and sorting that out, and which parts do I need to keep and which parts don't I need to keep, and then deciding what music I want to use, and then arranging the music. The music arranging will take, well, so far this has taken an hour, and I haven't gotten very far. I have been, explaining it as I go, and talking to yourself in Methodial, which is cool, because I have an extra week up my sleeve this week. If it was due this week, there's no way I'd be able to do something like this about it. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And then we go back to the base. We have done, and it's switched back to 2, and we want a dotted quaver here, and then semiquaver here, and flip that. Alright, and then the next bar is almost the same, so I'll copy that, but this is a quaver, and this is the dotted quaver, and cut that, and we'll put it here, and then I've realized my mistake. There we go. And I'll just fix that up. No, I'll just delete it, it's fine. Alright, so this now becomes oh no, I hope that's not me. It might be me. No, I'm at 16%. It should be okay. It should be mostly okay. Audio's the sort of the important one in this one too. I thought I should be. The audio for mine is usually okay. It's normally the video that shudders a bit. Oh yeah, on your phone. Yep. Alright, that is not the end of the okay, what do I need here? That, and that, and that, and let's break this all up into quavers. Okay. Now, what do I need here? Yeah, that's probably it. There's not much of a difference between the close hi-hat and the pedal hi-hat. There's a bit of a difference, but we'll see how we go. Okay. What have I got it on? Quaver. Okay. I want one of those here. And because I'm not worried about it's swapping voices now, I can just double click it to put it in, or if it's got a letter assigned, I can actually press the letter on the keyboard. So I can go dun dun dun, switch to semiquavers, G G G G, rest rest, but, and then it's very similar here, except it's done. And then back to semiquavers. And then da da and dun dun. Okay, and then take that off. Alright, and then save that. Design this morning. Alright, and then that drum pattern basically continues for the rest of the song until it says otherwise. So that's here, and then it just goes paste, 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 and you can just drag this along. Paste, 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 nope, paste, paste. And you can see as it's filling in the bars, it's getting longer and longer. Because the bars are actually taking up space now. If this stave here ends up having nothing in it, then I'll completely remove it. Because that's space that I can use. No, I'll remove it, but I'll need to reassign it for Hamilton. No worries, Soul Search. There is, if I was printing this out, I'd want more space between the drums and the piano here. Excuse me. So that they can actually see what they're doing. They're clashing a bit here. You can absolutely adjust the space between the staves, including the space between the great staves, or you can rearrange the order that they're in. So I can put the drums above the piano, and then voila, look, very clear now. I just need to remember which one's which. But they have a handy thing here saying, hey look, drums, piano, Washington. Alright, where am I up to? Right. I need you to draft an address. This continues more. This will swing back up to here. It's probably the same here, but I will need to check. Dun 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 dun. For dot. Not staccato. Not staccato. and then it goes back into this here, and that is staccato, and then this a little bit lower, and then no, what have I done? Did I lose it? Oh, I'm pressing. I'm not pressing paste. I'm pressing some other combination of keys that don't mean anything. I think I was pressing Windows V. Thankfully, that didn't do anything terrible. I don't think. It's a very, very, very strange zoom control. So it's gone from 100 to not 90%, but 90.90.90.90.90.90.90.9. Weird. And then it gets down to this. There is a lot of repeating in Hamilton. There is so much repeating. That's the end of this measure here. Measures are indicated with bar line changes. There was here. Very likely. They don't mean anything at all for playback. It's just an opportunity for the people playing the instruments to go, oh, something important has happened. Yes, it looks like you've been promoted, Soul Search. Good job. So this is where we are at so far. Do I have all the things for it? No, I'm missing a lot of Washington stuff. Okay, here, 4, 3. And I'm going to want that to flip. It makes no difference at all to how it sounds if it's stem up or down. I just like it to look pretty. Okay, and then there's no notes here. There is some speaking here, but I will cover that. Not sure how I'm going to cover their spoken words yet. But I will think of something. Okay. I'm stepping down. I'm not running for president. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I have messed up. Okay, these are actually here. This is he stepping down so he can run for president. Which is very similar, but not the same. He's stepping down so he can run for president. And flip that. So it's neater. Okay, 20 minutes, sort of. Alright, let's hear how it sounds. Ah, good job, Soul Search. Well done. I'm probably missing a slur there, but it doesn't make any difference to the playback. One more time. Alright, now, the drums are loud. So I have two options. I can adjust the volume in the mixer, or I can set them in the piece itself, which is probably what I'm going to do. So I can set them at piano. Wait. It actually applies to both voices, regardless of which one you pick. I just like to have it set for voice 1. It's sort of in the way, but it's alright. So now the drums will come in a lot softer. And I'm probably going to have to kill the drums. I'll have to check and see if see where the drums stop and stuff like that. I do not want to be playing actual Hamilton music, like actual legit Hamilton on my stream. I'm more than happy to play this because this is something I have sat here and created. It's within fair use. Playing the actual song is something I'm going to have to go through later and see where the drums stop. I'm pretty sure that the drums do stop when Hamilton says, "Sorry, what?" As it gives a lot more emphasis to his what the fuck moment. But they might continue. Speaking of continuing, this is where it comes into. It mentions that the drums pick up again, so maybe they do stop. They change. Okay. The drums change from dump dump da dump da dump dump to a little bit neater. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. No, don't do that. I still want that way. And dun 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, the symbols don't change. Okay, so that will just overwrite that here and here and here. I'll need more bars than what I've gotten right now, because we're just starting the actual song part of the song. But it yeah, it's fine. And we finally have a treble clef, which is a bit of a shame because we haven't used it this entire time. But oh well. Alright, so Washington comes in. One last. Right, one last time. That's not what I wanted. Do the slow before the type. One last time. Let's have aha. Cut that. Paste that there. There we go. Drink and drink with me. This is the bottom of my register. For that octave at least. I could do it up an octave, but I just haven't been. Yay! We didn't have either of those band. We're not really a marching band sort of country. We had a band at school. We had a brass band at school. I played tuba. I wasn't very good. No, not tuba, trombone. I wasn't very good, but that was okay. Give me something to do, sort of, usually. Yeah, that doesn't help. It being really cold does not help at all. Relax and have a drink with me one last time. One last. Nope. Can't believe I got that wrong twice in a row. Ta. Then turn the slow off or it will keep going. 4.rest. Let's take a break. Tonight. And we'll teach them how to sing goodbye to say. Ah, wrong space. So it just overwrites the one that I accidentally put there. Say goodbye. You and I. Dot time. So the slur has built itself over all of those tied notes, and Musical will happily do that. You can put the slur in before or afterwards. It doesn't really mind. One, two. And then Hamilton is talking. 5, 3. I one against partisan team. Nope, too high. There we go. Pick up the pen. Sunrise. Talk about what I have. Nope. Excuse me. Hard one. Western. And this is where Hamilton actually starts singing at this point here. For the entire piece so far, Hamilton has only been talking or rapping. He has not started to sing yet, and this is where he starts singing. And his first voice singing here is to say, but you could. Why are you stopping if you have so much left to teach? Why are you stopping? But Washington knows. I'm done here. Alright, so far we just have I should save it. One last time, drink with me one last time. Say goodbye. I wanna talk about John. Might need to be a bit slower. I do wonder if I missed a tempo change. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Alright, I might slow it down a little. Don't do that. Yeah, it picks up here. You can see here. It's a tempo mark. It knows it's a tempo mark, and it follows the text for the tempo. I could write anything in there and untick that box and set the tempo manually. And I've done that in certain songs that gradually get faster. And I've put, like, say it's been coming in at 80, and I need it to speed up to 86 over a couple of bars. Then I will put in an invisible tempo mark for 82, and then 84, and then 86, but it needs to get there. If it's, well, that's over one bar, I guess. So it'll be, it's coming in at 80, and then 82 here, and then 84 here, and then 86 here. If I need it to speed up more gradually than that, then it could be, 81, 82, 83, 85, 86. Or space it out better. But, and you can hide all of that and just put in a thing that says, gradually get faster. Or whatever you want to call that. And you can write text in, and then you can, where is it? You can use this to change the style of the text. So I can make this look like dynamics, except it doesn't. Or I can make it look like instrument name, except it doesn't. Well, it really wants to be a tempo text, doesn't it? That's fine. That was a poor example. So if I wanted to say, Thomas Jefferson resigned this morning, then I could say, put in some text here. There's going to be some swing text. put in some system text here, and we can say, look, just you know, just slow it down a bit, Rotando. And I can change that to technique, or I can change that to tempo, so that it stands out more. Or I can say, hey, look, this is actually this isn't Washington anymore. This is actually Hamilton. And I can change that to be instrument note. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I think, yeah, that might be better. I don't know. That's weird. There's this. Let me delete that. Let me just undo all of that, because that was. There we go. There's one here for instruments, and that's what it looks like. Oh, instrument change. Okay, yeah. So right down there. So here's instrument change. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of stuff. Well, I don't need that either. Okay. Anyway, that's putting text in. So I could, instead of having this as 85, I could have this as, you know, slowly. And I'll just turn off the follow text and get rid of that part. So, you know, that could just be, you know, slowly, or, you know, 85's not really slow. So, you know, that could be moderate, and you can play it whatever you want, but I've got it at 85, but I don't really care what you play it at, because it's sort of up to you. You've sort of got to follow the beat for the vocalists. So sort of, you know, figure that out for yourself. But yeah, 85 or 90-ish. Oh, rude. Alright. That's very interesting. Alright, cool. So that's enough messing around with 10-minute cooldown soul search. What is the 100? 100 is the breakpoint for your new promotion. So if you say above 100, you'll be fine. Well, it's 12 o'clock. That's sort of all I have time for, because critical role's starting right now. So I mean, I'll probably keep working on this while I'm watching Critical Role. I mean, I could put in the I could put in the piano bit so we can hear how that goes, because it's an actual piano now. No, it's dotted crochet. Nope. That's better. Okay, and then here to a flat. That's one thing it doesn't do. If you've already got an A flat for that note, it will recognize later on that that's an A flat. But if you want another A flat in the same the same chord, it will come in as an A, and you'll have to flat it yourself manually. Unless that A has already. So the ties, obviously, but if I drew another A here, this is a new bar, so it assumes it's a natural. It won't tie over here. If I drew in a separate A here, or here, or here, where the arrow is not the note, that would come in as an A flat. I don't want that to be an A though. That's well, I'll just push that up. E. Okay, and let's back to here, and then A flat again. Oop. No, this isn't right. Oh, what am I doing over here? I see what I've done. I don't know how I got over here. Cut that out, paste that in here. I'm meant to be over here. I don't know how that happened. I really don't know how that happened. I hope it remembers. There we go. And tie that. And back down to. That's not right. What have I got wrong? That is right. Okay. No, not what I wanted. Same result, I guess. This will be an interesting one to draw in. Nope, too far. That's it. Back to staccato for that one. And then blah, and then What? Ah. Now, this note is marked a bit. The staccato definitely plays during playback. Marcato and tenuato aren't. Well, they are, but not really by default. You can adjust them if you can adjust them manually. But I'm gonna throw a swing on this anyway, so it's not gonna be too big of a deal. Alright, and as I said earlier, we have a treble as well. Finally. Treble has finally decided to join in. It would be cool if it defaulted to it would be cool if it defaulted to the same oh no! The tavern! Yeah, the tavern happens. I'm sorry about that, Soul Search. It would be cool if it defaulted to the yeah, that's back to a normal A. The same duration as the other stave, but of course we actually don't want it to do that most of the time. So I'm glad it doesn't. Nope. Aha! Looking in the wrong place. Oh, God damn it. Wrong button. Okay, you delete. You delete. Start again. That's better. Oh, I can get down there. I didn't think we were going to make it. I thought I was going to have to manual that one in. Now we're back to the A natural. With everything here being no, not yet. I don't think so. With everything here being in the same time, except for this, this could be on the same stave, and I'd save I could actually build it all on this stave. It's not terribly high. I mean, it's 2 lines up. Just except for this, but I could I could do that with voices. So that would save me a whole stave. It's about to get a little, it's about to mess me up a little bit more too, but... Right. Sometimes I just, that does not surprise me in the least. And that's an A flat. I'm gonna need to... No, I'm not. I thought for sure I was gonna need to draw that one in. Oh, which is what I'm doing, I guess. No, incorrect, Dave. Undo, undo, undo. 4 tie. That's it. Right, and tie that. And then here, here, here. We're nearly finished, everybody. Send that staccato. And an A natural. Okay, let me save that. Alright, so it's 12:15, so I'll be signing off very briefly. Maybe. Who knows? There's not that many. If you're in town, then there's no snakes. If you're in some of the suburbs, will have snakes. But in the more drinking, hooray! If you're in town, there's no snakes. If you're in even if you're in town, there's not that many spiders. Fun things to do. You need a car. I found driving in America that driving on the wrong side of the road was not really a problem. It was driving on the wrong side of the car. It was sitting on the left-hand side of the car and driving from there. That was tripping me out more than driving on the right-hand side of the road. Because I was on the road and that was fine, and there were cars going the other way, but I was just following traffic, so that wasn't a deal. It was because I'm so used to driving on this side of the car that's where I line up where I am in the lane, and me being on the other side of the car, I had to constantly think about where I was in relation to the lane and where I was in the car and where the car was in the lane. That was what was tripping me out. No, stop. Go back to the start. All right. So this is what we've got after 2 hours. But there are fun things to do around town in Melbourne. But there are a lot of fun things to do in Victoria as well. There's the Grampians has some great mountains and hiking and camping and stuff like that. There's the 12 Apostles down near Apollo Bay. The Great Ocean Road is a fantastic drive. There are a ton of places to get out, and that's just around Melbourne. There's Sydney Harbour and all of that stuff as well. There's a lot of national parks that you can sort of go to. A lot of them are far away. And that's where the piano finally comes in. So that's thankfully that's coming together rather nicely. Now I might end up changing the piano to something else. I might have it be a dulcimer. I've had the piano be a dulcimer in a couple of the Hamilton songs simply because of the period. I wanted to evoke an older time. I know dulcimers were well out of fashion by the time the 18th century. Not well out of fashion, but Melbourne. That's I keep spelling it like this. Melbourne. Just ignore all of the other letters. Melbourne. The B and the N, just there's nothing else there. Melbourne. That's it. That's how you say Melbourne. Just like that. Melbourne. So I might use a dulcimer instead of a piano, and it will sound like this. Or I might use, I've just dragged it off screen, or I might use a harpsichord. Just to give it a bit of something extra. It's not as clean, but I will tend to play around with the different sounds and stuff like that. And sometimes even doing that much will take me half an hour. Oh yeah, it's definitely not Melbourne. A lot of North Americans say Melbourne. Because, born identity, it's spelt the same as that. So yeah, it's I see where they're getting it from, but yeah, it's us. It's always been Melbourne, and so it needs more word I'm looking for. Can't remember. But I might not use harpsichord for that. I could use a marimba actually. Doesn't really do the it doesn't sustain for very long. What else have I got in here? I got a clav. Yeah, I have no idea how to pronounce that. So I can play around with whatever instruments I want. I mean, I can make it, you know, it doesn't have to be a keyboard at all. That. Try that. That is very loud, so I'd need to bring that down. Ponatuski. Ponatuski? I'd need to bring that down because it's super loud. There's castanets in here. Oh, there's a mandolin. Let's see how the mandolin sounds. That actually sounds pretty cool. That actually sounds pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, good. That was that's at the very bottom of the. I'll drag it back and show you. Mandolin is at the very, very, very bottom of the list of options that you can change it to. There are this many things that you can have. There are a lot of things in here. It defaults to grand. I normally pick bright grand instead. But there are 3 different types of electric piano up here, and there are even more down here somewhere. There's 2 more here. They don't sound very detuned. There's a mellow Yamaha, which is also sort of interesting. I'm not sure if it's got the practice pedal on or something like that. There's coupled harpsichord, but it's already coupled. This is synth strings 3. There's already 2 synth strings further up the list. This is the sort of stuff that no one really needs to use. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the mandolin. There's a funk guitar. Actually, that sounds pretty good as well. This one's growing on me. This is a lot smoother. It's not as harsh as the thing. So that was 5 minutes of deciding which instrument to pick for the piano, and then I might change it later depending on what I pick for Hamilton's harmony. But yeah. As long as I have a church and a bar, they'll be okay. But that's gonna be it. I'm gonna actually get a. I don't think I get a notification for Geek and Thunder anymore. So, well, I know when Critical Role's on, and that's the only thing I watch live. So thanks everybody. I should save this. And I'll go back to here. No, this one. There we go. Hi. All right, and then I close that. Oh no, I don't want to close that. Actually, I want to. Sorry, that was silly of me. I need to keep working on that. I haven't finished yet. But yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody for watching, especially Soul Search and Methodial, who actually kept me company in chat. It's very kind of you. I hope this has been interesting to some level of degree. While it wasn't very professional streaming-wise, it took a bit of figuring out how to do. And that was a thing that happened. I should change the name of this scene away from MuseCam to I'll move that out of the way too. Rename that to Monitor Cam. Monitor Cam. Alright, cool. And then we'll go back to here. Okay, cool. I'm half an hour. I've been streaming for 4.5 hours. I'm glad I managed to find breakfast at 8 o'clock. I need some more coffee, and I need to find out what's happened on Critical Role in the last half an hour. Hopefully nobody died while I was away. I'm sure everything will be okay. I'll be back again tomorrow with more Knights of the Old Republic. After Punchy. Punchy's starting late tomorrow, apparently. So I guess I'll be starting late too, unless Liz is running short. I'm not sure what's. I'll just stream after Punchy the same as I normally do. And then Saturday I'll be streaming again about 9 o'clock my time, so about 7 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday there's no Exalt Switch this weekend because Exalt Switch has finished. There is no more Exalt Switch. John's going to be doing something on Sunday night though, so I'll be around for that, and then I'll probably be streaming after that's finished, however long that takes, which means it might be earlier than I normally stream on Sunday night for North America and Monday morning for me. And I'll probably have finished KOTOR by then. So I'm not sure what I'll be streaming next. I might play 80 Days for a bit. I might stream KOTOR 1. I'm not sure. Indeed, just not right. I mean, I was already sad about the end of Exalt Switch. It'll be good. The next game will be great too. I'm looking forward to Changeling already. I'm really looking forward to Changeling. I've got more studying to do, and more recording to do, and more music arranging to do, and I probably shouldn't be watching Critical Role or streaming. Oh well. Oh yeah, you should be watching that instead of this. Alright, I'm going to sign off now before I ramble on too much further. Thank you again for watching. If you've been watching on YouTube, you can hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. They're both very much appreciated and help me out. You can follow me at CaptDaf on Twitch and Twitter. That's, get it right this time, Dave, here. At CaptDaf on Twitch and Twitter. Oh, I didn't change it from KOTOR to something else. Yeah. And then you get notifications for when I stream next, if you turn those on. And is there anything else? No, I'll be back tomorrow after Punchy. Watch Punchy. And then if you want to stick around and watch me, it'll be great. It'll be the end of KOTOR, probably. I don't know, on Saturday. I'll figure that out on Saturday. That's tomorrow Dave's problem. Thank you for watching. Until I see you again next time, drive fast and take chances. Bye. Where's the button? Hit the button, Frank.